Hello guys, today we are going to review the movie Kiss of the Dragon 2001 and let's review that movie. Kiss of the Dragon 2001 is a fast-paced martial arts action thriller starting Jet Li, one of his most intense and grounded performance. Directed by Chris Nolan and produced by Luke Besson, the film blends brutal hand-to-hand combat with a dark crime thriller atmosphere set in Paris. And let's talk about its facts. And this movie is Jet Li plays Liu Jian, a quite disciplined Chinese intelligence officer sent to France on an undercover mission. Things go wrong when he is framed for murder by a corrupt French police officer. Jean-Pierre Richard, played chillingly by Takeki Karyu, on the run in a foreign land. Liu Jian teams up with Jessica, Bridget, Fonda, an explosion American woman to clear his name and expose the corruption. What makes Kiss of the Dragon stand out is its raw, realistic fight choreography, unlike wire-heavy or fantasy-style kung fu movies. The action here is fast, painful, and close quarters, making every punch feel dangerous. Jet Li uses traditional martial arts mixed with street fighting, and the famous acupuncture needle combat scenes are both unique and brutal. The movie keeps a serious tone throughout with very little comedy, focusing instead on revenge, justice, and survival. The Paris setting adds a gritty European crime vibe, separating it from typical Hollywood action films of the time. And what works well? Jet Li's performance, calm, deadly, and emotional, hard-hitting martial arts action, no flashy wire work, stylish soundtrack by Craig Armstrong, strong villain portrayal by Takeki Kari, dark and realistic Paris underworld setting. We talk about minor drawbacks and slow character development for side characters, predictable storyline in parts, bridged Fonda's role feels underused. Oral rating it's a 7.5 out of 10. Solid gritty martial arts thriller that highlights Jet Li's raw combat skills. And if we talk about movie facts and trivia, then it is released here. It released in 2001. Director Chris Nehon, producer is Luke Besson, and action choreography Corey Yuan and Jet Li. And if we talk about filming location, they are in Paris and France, and Jet Li insisted on minimal wire work to keep fights realistic. The needle pressure point attacks are inspired by real Chinese medicine. The soundtrack mixes electronic beats with orchestral tension. This film helped redefine Jet Li's image in Hollywood as a serious action star. Considered one of Jet Li's best Western film by fans. And if we talk about Final Wedding, Kiss of the Dragon is a must watch. For martial arts action movie fans, it delivers intense fight scenes, a menacing villain, and a grounded serious tone. That set is apart from many early. And let's go for its more deeper view, deeper review, hidden details, and more fact. Then, firstly, goes story depth and theme, more insights. Beyond the action, Kiss of the Dragon explores isolation and identity. Liu Jian is a man without a country and he is framed unable to speak the language, trust authorities, or rely on anyone. This makes the film emotionally heavier than a typical action flick. Another strong theme is systemic corruption. The villain isn't just a criminal, it's the law itself gone rotten, making Lewis fight for just personal but moral. Jessica's character represents collateral damage, someone destroyed by the same system, but still trying to survive. And if we talk about fight choreography breakdown and why it hits hard, this movie is often praised by martial arts fans because no wire few or flying kicks emphasize on joint locks, elbow strikes, sweeps, and pressure point. Fights are short, fast, and brutal, Uh, Realistic exhaustion is visible. Camera stays close, letting viewers feel every hit. And it's an iconic fight scene, hotel bathroom fight, police station massacre, and hotel bathroom fight where tight space, sewage moves, and at police station, one man army intensity, and eight final showdown strategy over brute strength. If we talk about character analysis, then Liu Jian Jet is quick discipline, learner, really speaks, lets action tell his story, represent honor versus corruption, and Jean-Pierre Richard Hartog one of the Jet Li's best villains, psychotic, racist, power hungry. His performance adds true maniac, not cartoony. And if we talk about Jessica Bridget Fonda, symbol of broken innocence, and her bond with Louisiana is built on trust, not romance, adds emotional grounding to the story. And if we talk about music and sound design, composer Craig Armstrong blends and industrial techno for jazz, soft piano themes for horror, and music never overpowers action. It enhances tension. Silence is used effectively before fights to build fear. If we talk about box office and reception, then its budget approx $25 million and its worldwide gross around $65 million. If we talk about a strong DVD and cable success post theoretically releases and gained cult status among martial arts fans. And if we talk about it, is critics praise Jet Li's physical performance and realistic action style, but criticize thin plot, underwritten female role. If we talk about lesser known fact and trivia, Jet Li refused several Hollywood scripts before this film due to excessive gun use. Many stunt performances were real martial artists, not actors. And we talk about several fight scenes were toned down to avoid an NC-17 rating. And Lake Vision encouraged a European crime turn, not Hollywood glass. The movie became reference point for later gritty action films. Some MMA fighters have cited this movie as inspiration for close range combat style. And if we talk about comparison with Jet Li's other film, then first Romeo Must Die that came in 2000. Its style was wire few, hip hop, and tone was style. And their later come Kiss of the Dragon 2001. It's raw martial arts, and its tone is dark and serious. And if we talk about the movie, the one 2001, its style was sci-fi action and tone was flashy. And it's if we talk about movie Unleashed that came in 2005, that was style was emotional brutality and tone was very dark. And if we talk about legacy, and in fact, redefined hand-to-hand combat realism in Hollywood and proved Jet Li could carry a serious Western thriller. And if we talk about influenced later films like Taken and John Wick closed in brutality concept and still recommended in top martial arts action movie list. And if we talk about some final verdict, then uh, Kiss of the Dragon 2000 is not just an action film, it's a hard and forgiving surviving story with some of the best realistic martial arts choreography ever filmed. It ages well because it avoids trends and focuses on pure skill and intensity. Let's go for its ultra detailed review. And first thing, deep symbolism and hidden meaning. Dragon in the title, the dragon symbolizes power under control. Ancient discipline, a warrior who does not attack without reason. The kiss represent silent, precise death. The acupuncture needles, a kiss that shuts the body down, and its meaning a disciplined warrior delivering justice with choice. If we talk about real martial arts science behind the needle, uh, the pressure point attack zones are based on dim concept. Temporary paralysis, nervous system shock, muscle lockouts, loss of balance and breath. While dramatized, real acupuncturists confirm these points exist but aren't lethal in reality. If we talk about cinematography and camera psychology, handheld camera is equal to charge and panic. Static shots is equal to control when Liujian fights. And if we talk about blue gray lighting and emotional coldness of Paris, and warm tones appear only in a flashback and calm moment. Visual mirror leaves Jan's inner emotional state. If we talk about villain psychology, next level, Jean Bierre's ad is terrifying because he enjoys control more than money. He humiliates victims before killing them. He represented unchecked authority. He isn't insane. He is protected by the system, which makes him more dangerous. And if we talk about violence, fight feels different. Unlike Hollywood, no slow motion glory shots, no heroic music during fights. Victims stay down, bleeding, scared. Violence is shown as ugly, exhausting, and necessary, not stylish. We talk about unseen story details, the most miss. Lucians never fires a gun by choice. He eats little, showing monk-like discipline. Really looks people in the eyes. Humility only smiles once with Jessica's daughter. Uh, this show he's not a machine, he's a human. Sound design by challenge matter. Footsteps louder than music, breathing replaces soundtrack. Silence before text is equal to predator mode. This technique was later used heavily in the Bourne series. If we talk about Paris as a character, Paris is shown as cold, hostile, and claustrophobic, and not romantic, a foreign trap. If we talk about scene by scene, iconic moment, and hotel room fight demonstrates spatial awareness. Show lesions adapts instantly. If we talk about police station rampage, a man versus corrupted law, pure survival instinct. And if we talk about final freedom, no victory celebration, justice feels empty but necessary. And if we talk about Hollywood impact, long term influenced, taken brutal realism, John Wick, close combat focus, the red tight spaces, pain based combat. Why it was underrated on releases. Early 2000s audience wanted flashy CGI. Jet Li was still seen as foreign action star. Dark tone confused mainstream viewers, but DVD sales exploded, cult following grew, martial arts fans praised realism. If we talk about philosophical message, true strength is knowing when not to kill. Louisiana kills only with forced power. Russia. Top 10 reason it is well, no CGI dependence, real martial arts, practical stunts, serious tone, and timeless themes, strong villain, emotional silence, grounded fight, minimal dialogues, pure gently skill. If we talk about extreme facts, hardcore, Jet trains 8 hours a day during filming. Several stuntmen were hospitalized, non-fatal. Some scenes were censored internationally. Location called it Jet Li's Unleashed before Unleashed. Police brutally scenes were based on real scandals. And if we talk about some final verdict, then Kiss of the Dragon 2001 is not a flashy blockbuster, a brutal martial arts crime masterpiece. And if we talk about rating, it's 8.5 out of 10 cult legend status. And uh, let's talk about its behind the scenes, sensor details, philosophy, legacy comparison, quotes, and things even hardcore fans miss. The DNA of the film, why it feels so different. Kiss of the Dragon sits at a perfect crossroad. Hong Kong martial arts display, European criteria. Release Hollywood pacing but restrained. This hybrid is rare and that's why the film doesn't feel dated even today. Jet Li's personal philosophy in the movie. Jet Li personally rejected excessive gunfight, romantic subplots, comedy one-liners. Why? Because he wanted Lu Jian to feel like a warrior who fight because he must, not because he enjoys it. That's why Lu Jian taunts, never celebrates victory, never kill unnecessarily. This is Yardley's most honest role. If we talk about the silent protagonist technique, Liu Jian speaks very little. This creates mystery, tension, universal relatability, Same techniques later used in Drive or Ryan Gosling, John Wick, The Man from Nowhere. Silence is equal to power. Censored and cut content with rare facts. Several scenes were cut or shortened. A longer torture scene involving needles, a darker ending where justice feels more hollow, more brutality from corrupt cops. These were removed to avoid NC-17 rating, make the film more marketable. European versions were slightly more violent. If we talk about alternate interpretation and dark theory, some fans believe Lucian knows he will never return home. And if we talk about clues, he, he destroys his passport, no goodbye scene with authority, no celebration ending. He sacrifices his future to restore justice. And so this movie basically action movie where kung fu matters and let's go for its review. Jessica more important than people think. Jessica isn't a love interest. She is a mirror of Lucian's pain, a symbol of innocence restored by power, proof that kindness survives brutality. Their bond is trust-based, not romantic, extremely rare in action films. And why Paris feels like a prison. Paris is short as narrow alleys, underground tunnels, cramped apartments. The city closes in, reflecting Lucian's isolation. The, the trap he is in, no Eiffel Tower glamour, all the shadow, combat realism, technical breakdown, gently uses central line attacks, elbow and knee dominance, balance, disruption, joint manipulation. This is practical combat, not tournament martial arts. Fighters don't look cool, they look desperate. And if we talk about Spain, is the real notice. Fighters get fall. Yes, limbs go numb. Enemies don't get back. Pain is treated as the price of violence. This is why the movie feels heavy. Music, a masterpiece in Western. Craig Armstrong avoids heroic theme. Instead of heroic themes, Low bass is equal to danger, minimum melody is equal to loneliness, silence is equal to fear. The score respects the action, not dominates it, and why the villain is truly terrifying. Jean Pierre Richard doesn't fear consequence, believes himself untouchable, uses the law as a weapon. He represents evil that wears a badge. That's far scarier than a gangster. We talk about cult status, how it grew over time. Initial release, mixed reviews, modest box office. Years later, martial arts forms rised. YouTube breakdown exploded. Reddit labeled it a hidden classic, and now regularly ranked in top chat leagues. And if we talk about comparison, why it beats many modern acting films. First element CGI, Kiss of the Dragon, minimal and modern action is heavy. And violence in Kiss of Dragon it's painful, but in modern action it's stylish. And in elements, hero, then Kiss of Dragon hero is silent, but in modern action hero is talkative. And if we talk about stakes, in Kiss of Dragon stake is personal, but in modern it's a spectacle. In tone, its tone is dark, but modern movies tone are quippy and is equal to less noise, more impact. Iconic, unofficial chords, fan favorites. Uh, he doesn't fight to win, he fights to end it. Even more has a purpose. This is not kung fu, this is survival. And if we talk about core message, ultimate takeaway, true strength is restraint, true justice is costly, and but true power is quit. And if we talk about final absolute verdict, then Kiss of the Dragon 2001 is one of the realest martial arts films ever made. A master class in restraint, smarter than it looks, darker than most. Remember, 9 out of 10 timeless cult masterpiece, and if we talk about more deep review, uh, if we talk about origin of history for camera roll, the original concept came from Luke Besson's obsession with a foreign man trapped by a corrupt system and a hero who can't rely on language and violence as a last option, not spectacle. Early drafts. Louisiana was written as almost mute, no romance from the start. Ending was originally bleaker. The script was designed to feel uh, European noise, not Hollywood action. And why the dragon is so minimal? This was intentional because Jet Li's physical acting, spoken lines, language barriers increase tension. Silence forces the audience to watch instead of relax. In result, we get every word feels heavy, no wasted dialogues. The body becomes the storytelling tool and fight scene micro-analysis. Editor level, this is why editors and reel makers love this movie. Short design, average shot length, very short, no shaky cam shots. Cut happens on impacts, not movements. This make it's feel real, not floatly. And if we talk about motion psychology, attacks stop immediately once an image neutralized. No extra kicks for style. If we talk about camera, never glorifies pen, it documents it. Perfect references for Instagram Reels, dark action, edits, rhythm of violence, its patterns are silence, sudden explosion, immediate, and that rhythm is gold for editors. Why this film is a masterclass for real edits. And if we talk about character details only, die-hard fans notice Louisiana's never attacks first unless concerned, always disable strongest enemy first and protects civilian instinctively, avoids eye contact, humility, and Richard villain touches people to assert dominance, smiles during cruelty, never fights fairly, cowards in power is removed. Predator versus Preside. We talk about regional perception, very important in USA. Seen as too serious, critics wanted humor. Action fans loved it. For real, Europe pride for realism. Villain felt too real, appreciated not tone, no tone, and CNN HK Asia respected for discipline, not flashy enough for Mainstream martial artists prize techniques, accuracy. Different cultures saw different movie. We talk about violence versus morality. Fight feels heavy, unlike normal action film. Violence never solves everything. Every kill costs something. Ending is relief or joy. This creates emotional fatigue, which is rare and powerful. If we talk about music, its advanced analysis and Craig Armstrong uses low frequency trade, repeating motifs, obsession, and a minimal melody. Music never tell you this is awesome, it tells you this is dangerous. If we talk about philosophical core, deeper, the movie quickly asks what if justice has no reward? What if doing the right thing leaves you alone? And is spiritual, if is survival itself victory? Answer sometimes endurance is the win. And if we talk about architecture as storytelling, notice states is equal to danger, hallways are traps, doors are uncertainty. Paris becomes a maze, a cage, a hostile organism. If we talk about weapon choice, guns are equal to corruption, needles are knowledge, and hands are discipline. Religion chooses knowledge over power, and why modern action films still copy this. You see its DNA in John Wick, Close Combat, the Red Tide Space, Nobody, Silent Rage, Extraction, Brutal Realism, but most miss one thing, it's restraint. Fight never needs a sequel because story is complete, mystery remains, Lysian's fate is unknown, power lies in ambiguity, and a sequel would weaken it. And if we talk about final message, ultimate kiss of the dragon is not loud, not flashy, not comforting. It is precise, disciplined, honest. That's why it survived trends. If we talk about final score, then it's in martial arts it will get 9.5 out of 10, and in direction it will get 8.5. In music it will get 8. In depth it's 9, and in rewatch value it's 9 also. Overall it's 9.2 out of 10, and timeless cult icons. Style for weight and so basically this review is of the movie Kiss of the Dragon. And if we talk about meta level reading, the movie about movies. Kiss of the Dragon is secretly a rejection of Hollywood action language. At the time, early 2000s, action heroes joked, violence was stylized, fight were cool movements. The film says no violence is destruction, not entertainment. That alone makes it critical for its era. And why gently moves small, very important. Most action starts fight big with wide punches, large kicks, dramatic emotions. Gently fights small short strikes, minimal movement, energy conversation. This is a real combat philosophy. The smaller the movement, the faster the route. That's why his fight feels inevitable, not flashy. If we talk about frame composition, secret editor size only, then headroom, Lysian is often framed with less headroom, makes him look trapped and increase pressure. And if you talk about villain framing, then Richard is given extra space and dominance, low angles, until the final act when framing reverses visual justice before narrative justice. And why the movie feels heavy, neuro effects. Your brain reacts differently because no music cues telling you when to relax, no humor to reset tension, no exaggerated physics, your nervous system stays on alert. That's why people say this movie feels exhausting. That's not a flaw, that's design. And if we talk about violence as interruption, not spectacles, then in most action movie, action is equal to event. But here, action is equal to interruption of normal life. Fights break out suddenly and break out suddenly in bathrooms, in hallways, in offices, just like real violence. The dragon as a cultural statement. Western films often portray martial artists as flashy, exotic, mystical. The film says discipline is quit, skill is practical, culture is not decoration. Jet's character is not coalition guy. He's professional with rules. Why there is no romance? The reason romance would soften consequences, offer emotional reward, justify suffering. The films then is that we talk our message. Doing the right thing doesn't guarantee comfort. That's why the bond stays human, not romantic. And the ending, why it feels empty on purpose. No celebration, no victory pose, no triumphant score. Because justice doesn't heal trauma, survival is not is equal to happiness. Some damage is permanent. This is adult storytelling. If we talk about Paris versus Hong Kong visual contrast theory, Hong Kong actions, vertical movement, open rooftops, flow, Paris air, horizontal traps, dead ends, uh, confined geometry. The city fights Louisiana as much as the people. Why the needles matter symbolically. Needles invisible, precise, knowledge based. Guns are loud, impressive, power based. The film chooses knowledge over dominance, while the score avoids themes. There is no heroic motive because heroes don't feel heroic. Reputation would romanticize violence. Instead, the score functions like a heart rate under sea stress. And why this movie gets better with age. When you are younger, you see fights, you see action. When you are older, you see aggression, you see sacrifice, you see moral cost. Uh, that's why this film is upward, not downward, and why editors and real creators still use it because it offers clean fill out is clean. It's a pure raw material film. If we talk about final meta verdict, Kiss of the Dragon, the 2001 is not trying to impress, it's trying to test you. Can you sit with the silence, consequence, unawarded justice? If yes, it becomes unforgettable. If you talk about final score in intelligence, it will get 9.5, in release it will get 9.7, and in craft it will get 9, and in impact of time, then it will get a 9.6 out of 10, and overall it's 9.4 out of 10. Rare, honest action cinema. Let's go for its ultra deep review. Kiss of the Dragon 2000 is infinite depth mode, power, identity, time, and why. This will quickly destroy most action cinema. Mm, At this point, we are not reviewing the film. We are unpacking why it works on a human level. And the core truth most miss. Kiss of Dragon is not about fighting. It is about what happens when competence enters tower. Lucian doesn't change the world around him. That's the secret. The unmoving center theory. In martial philosophy, the most dangerous fighter is the one who doesn't emotionally react. Lucian doesn't escalate, doesn't provoke, doesn't boast, doesn't explain himself. He is an immovable center. Everyone else spirals. Chaos destroys itself with it collides with discipline. Why this movie feels like a weight on your chest. Your brain expects relief, movement, humor, emotional release. The film denied those, so tension never fully deserves. This creates psychological pressure, moral discomfort, lingering unease. That's why people remember the movie years later. While Lucia never looks angry, angry is wasted energy. Watch closely. His face barely changes, his breathing stays. And anger belongs to amateur professionals, stays neutral. Violence as a failure, not a silence. Every fight means the system failed, law failed, communication failed. So violence isn't victory. It's what happened when everything else collapsed. That's why there is no triumph. Time perception in the film very rare. If we notice, no montage training, no time jump for growth. And if we talk about time perception in the film, very rare. Notice no one-time training, no time jump for growth, no level up movements. Lucian's already complete. The story isn't about becoming stronger, it's about enduring longer. The city doesn't care essential there. Paris is not evil. Paris is indifferent. People pass by, life continues, violence happens unseen. This creates existential weight. Suffering doesn't stop the world that's deeply unsettling and honest. If we talk about honest, if we talk about dragon versus system, it's philosophical conflict. The dragon is equal to ancient discipline, and the system is equal to modern corruption. The dragon doesn't conquer the system, it survives it. Why there are no hero shots, no slow walkways, no sunsets, silhouettes, no apologizements, because the film refused to mythologize pain, reward destruction, or turn survival into respect. And the needle knowledge as power. Needles represent education, precision, understanding the human body. This is power that doesn't dominate, doesn't announce itself, doesn't destroy unnecessarily. Knowledge leads brute force always. Why the villains feel small at the end. Richard loses not because Lucian becomes stronger, but because Richard loses control. Once authority disappeared, he has uh, nothing. That film's a quiet warning. Power without discipline collapses instantly. Why this film terrifies corrupt people? Because it says system can be penetrated, masks can be removed, silence can be lethal. No speech, no revolution, just exhaustion. While Louisiana never claims justice, justice would mean recognition, reward, closure. He gets none. What he gets is survival, integrity, a clean conscience. That's all the film promise. Why the movie haunts editors and filmmakers? Because it proves you don't need spectacles, you don't need exhaustion, you don't need access. You need clarity. Every frame serves purpose. Nothing begs for attention. Bite age better than 90% of action films. Hmm. Trains die, but principles don't. Uh, Discipline, restraint, consequence, silence. These are timeless. The final insights: if you do right thing and nobody thanks you and nothing get easier, would you still do it? Religion answer yes. That's why he's unforgettable. Absolute and score. Moral weight 9.8, authentic formula 9.7 out of 10. Saying it all in out of 10. Okay. Directional integrity is 9.5 out of 10. Long term impact is 9.9 out of 10. Overall 9.6 out of 10. A quit masterpiece. And if we talk about this movies beyond the film, myth, body, power, and why this story works even without action, and this is now why it works even if you remove the fight levels. And let's go for its review and uh, this is not the why it works even if you removes the fight level. Strip the action away. What remains if you remove martial arts, violence, services? What remains in the story world? A man who refuses to become corrupt in a corrupt environment. That's it. That's the goal. Everything else is expression. Lilian as a mythical archetype. Lucian fits an ancient archetype seen across cultures. The wandering monk, the silent guardian, the outsider with rules, the man who carries order inside him. In myth terms, he doesn't conquer, he does not rule, he restores balance then disappear. This is why every ending feels unresolved. Myths don't end with comfort. The body as moral compass. Most action films treat the body as a weapon, spectacles, a tool for dominance. Kiss of the Dragon treats the body as fragile, finite, sacred. Every strike has consequence, every injury matters. Violence is shown as damage to order, not achievement. While Eugen never shows up, showing off implies ego, desire to be seen, need for validation. Eugen has none of that. His movements are efficient, minimal, private. He fights like someone who uh, has trained so long that performance no longer matters. That's mastery. Power dynamics, who really has power at first? Richard has the badge, the gun, uh, the system, but that power is external, borrowed, temporary. Legion's power is eternal, portable, always available. The film argues eternal power outlasts systems. We talk about why the film refuses catharsis. Catharsis would mean emotional release, moral cleansing, audience comfort. The film denies this because real justice doesn't heal trauma. You don't walk away lighter. You walk away awake. Why the movie feels cold on purpose. Warmth implies safety, belonging, home. Louisiana has none. The cool tone tells you the world will not take care of you. That's honesty, not permission. If you talk about space and human scale, notice how building a large rooms feels tight, human feels small. This creates a visual argument. Systems are bigger than people but not stronger. They collapse from within. The needles has philosophical weapons. Needles do not destroy the body, they interrupt it. Symbolically, knowledge interrupts ignorance. Precision interrupts sound. Understanding interrupts power abuse. This is intellectual violence, not brute violence. Why this movie feels honest? Because it refused to lie about pain, exertion, moral cost, loneliness. Most films offer fantasy, this one offers truth with restraint. Why the hero never claims space. Lucian stand to the side, moves through crowds unnoticed, avoids attention. Heroes who seek space want recognition. Heroes who avoid space want peace. We talk about dragon philosophy, final interpretation. In Chinese philosophy, a dragon is not loud. It does not roll unnecessarily. It moves when needed, then rests. Liu Jian is a dragon who was forced to move, restored balance, returned to silence. That's why the titles matter. Why the movie doesn't end? Because order is temporary, corruption always returns. Another dragon will be needed someday. The story closes, the problem doesn't. The ultimate takeaway Kiss of the Dragon 2001 Isolation in discipline over ego, persistence over force, silence over noise, integrity over victory. It doesn't ask you to cheer, it asks you to reflect. If we talk about final absolute score, no high. Then intellectual weight in intellectual. It's 10 of 10 in authenticity, it's 9.7, and directional integrity, it's 9.6, and in longevity, it's the 10 of 10. In overall, it's 9.8 rare principle cinema. And Let's talk more about it. The movie Kiss of the Dragon 2001, and let's go for its more ultra deep review. If we talk about moral physics, why action has weight, most action films run on this formula: violence, then reward, then relief. But Kiss of the Dragon uses a different law. It's go for violence, then cost, then silence. There is no emotional profit. Every action increases depth. That's why the films feel dense. Your brain never gets paid back. The law of restraint, the dragon code. Lucian follows three invisible rules: never escalates first, end conflict as fast as possible, and leave no tracks for ego. This is not morality, it's efficiency ethics, and the films argues the most ethical violence is the shortest possible violence. And if we talk about level 2, then it's come with fight design as storyline. Each fight answer a question. Hotel fight, kiss, action, kiss, can discipline. Survive chores, then the answer is yes, barely. And in police station fight, what if the law becomes the enemy? And answer is the survival becomes justice. And if we talk about final confirmation question, what happens when power loss authority? Answer is it collapses instantly. Fights are not spectacles, they are argument. If we talk about level 3 editing DNA, why this film cuts so hard, this movie is a masterclass in acting edition. We talk about key editing rules used. Cut on impact, not motion. Never cut away to hide skill. Never repeat an angle for flair. And end the fight immediately when it's over. This creates finality. No bouncing enemies, no fantasy recovered. This is why it edits so cleanly for reels even today. Why silence is the most dangerous tool. Silence in this films means no negotiation, no warning, no emotional leakage. Silence turns Legion into an event, not a personality. That's terrifying. Modern films copy the look, they forget the discipline behind it. And let's talk about more review. And if we talk about level 5 pain as information, pain is never uh, exaggerated. It communicates when a limb is unusual, when balance is gone, when a fight is over. Pain is already treated as data, not drama. That's why nothing feels fake. If we talk about level 6, system versus individual, the real conflict. This is not hero versus villain, this is integrity versus systemic corruption. The villain doesn't win because he is strong. He wins because the system protects him. When that protection is removed, he is nothing. That's little political message delivered quickly. Lesson why Louisiana never takes space. Watch his body language. He stands slightly aside, he avoids center frame. He exits quickly. This shows he doesn't want to belong to this world. Heroes who want space want recognized. Heroes who avoid space want exit. And in level 8, if we talk about sound and threat, the soundtrack awards. Heroic themes, emotional cues. Instead, art uses low frequency treat, repetition, silence. Your body reacts before your mind does. That's advanced filmmaking. If we talk about level 9, why this film is a creators movie. Editors, directors, and fighters and writers love this film because every frame has purpose, no indolence, no waste, no ego. It proves discipline beats budget. And in level 10, if we talk about why this movie destroys most action films say, look how strong the hero is. But Kiss of the Dragon says, look how much it costs to stay clean. That's why it lingers. And if we talk about the final no limit truth, Kiss of the Dragon is not trying to entertain you. It's asking if you had the power to fight back, but no guarantee of reward, no price, no comfort, would you still choose integrity? Louisiana does. That's the dragon kiss. If we talk about more, uh, Let's go. Kiss of the Dragon 2001 Beyond No Limit Practical Wisdom Scenes Mechanics and why creators history. Fresh angles and the film as wait a minute guys, it's loading, it's taking time. For this time let's have some music. Okay, it came and now let's start the review again. Uh, the film as a manual for self-control. This movie quickly teaches how teaches control under pressure, breathe over anger, and decision before action. He disables, not dominates. Exit over apologize, he leaves immediately. Lesson real mystery is choosing less, not more. And if we talk about micro choice that shape the whole film, teeny decisions, huge effects, no gives, tension never reset. Short fights are violent, feels final. No victory music there, so this it feels costly. These microsizes creates a moral gravity most action films lacks. If you talk about combat ethics and it don't prove it. Louisiana fighting ethics mirrors real world self-defense doctrine. Neutralize threat, preserve your body, leave the area. There is no showing off because showing off invites escalation. So that's review of movie uh, Kiss of Dragon and this is good movie. It's a kung fu movie and it's a must-watch movie for fans and then let's take a look again at its review. If we talk about scene mechanics, why they stick in memory, then bathroom, hotels, fights, crime, symmetry, inevitability, police station, institutional power, collapse when rules breaks, final confirmation, authority removed is equal to villain exposed. Each scene teaches a principle, not just plot. And that's why it runs and this movie is literally good and I think for their soldier it said only we have to uh, fight when a hero fights only when he forced he not misuse his powers and why the movie feels clean. Clean doesn't mean soft, it means clean. Cause effects, no fake recoveries, No moral confusions, your brain trusts what it's seeing, so it remembers it. Sound as a nervous system. Uh, the score behaves like anxiety, low repeating tones, sudden dropouts, silence at peak danger. This gives viewers a psychological alert. A rare craft move is to place as pressure. Paris isn't scenery, it's resistance. With our narrow passage, limited option, underground speaks moral descent, crowds is equal to anonymity, not safety. The city pushes back against the hero. The editors quote why this films cut so well. Still, uh, these rules cut on contact, not anticipation, let bodies fall out of frame, not center stage, never reply hits, and scenes early, and this creates authority in editing. White edges upward as transcends the film doesn't. No CGI to rate it, no slang to age it, no joke to soar. It relies on human constants, fear, restraint, and consequence. The quit political statement without species, the film says systems protect abuse. Integrity isolates you, justice is temporary, it doesn't shout it, it demonstrates it. And it's a very good movie, guys. I think you must watch movie, one of the best kung fu movie and most underrated movie also. I think it's underrated because not everyone knows about it, and let's talk about what modern films copy and miss. They copy close combat, silent hero, dark tone, but they miss restraints, moral cost, finality, style without discipline become noise. The last new insights Kiss of the Dragon isn't about winning, it's about remaining intact, physical, morally, psychologically, in a world that benefits from breaking it. That's the dragon's real power. We talk about final microscopes, new matrix. Discipline on screen 10 of 10. Editing authority 9.8 out of 10. Moral consistency 10 of 10. Rewatch intelligence 10 of 10. And let's go for it. More review. Uh, and this movie also it's a very good movie and it's must watch movie and one of the best Hollywood that settled in suited in European dark tone style and let's restart its review. Okay, then the film has a study of decision fatigue. Most action heroes grow stronger as the film goes on, but Liu Jian grows more tired. That matters. His movements stay precise, his decision stays clean, but the cost accumulates. This reflects real human stress. Discipline isn't about energy, it's about consistency under depletion. That's why the movie feels draining. And you are watching a man manage exertion, not overcome it. And while Liu Jian never learn lessons, there is no arc where he changes values, no realization moment, no emotional breakthrough because the film claims uh, is radical. The right value don't come from experience, they exist before the crisis. And the world tests him, it doesn't teach him. Violence as an administrative failure. Every fight happens because paperwork failed, authority failed, oversights failed. This makes violence feels like a breakdown in bureaucracy, not morality. That's why police station offices and hotels matters more than streets. The danger comes from institutions, not chaos, and why the camera never celebrates even when Jet Li performs elite technique, the camera doesn't linger. There is no replay, no slow motion price. This removes performance ego. The film treats skills like a private competence, not a public spectacles. That's extremely rare in cinema. The no witness design notice how often fight happens off to the side, civilian don't react, crowds keeps moving. This creates a chilling truth. Integrity is usually unseen. No audience, no validation, still uh, necessary. And why the dragon is never shown. The film never visualize the dragon. Why? Because dragon in Eastern philosophy are principles, not creatures, are forces, not mascots. Saying it would cheapen it. The dragon exists on discipline, precision, restraint, and why the film trusts the viewer. No expositions, dumps, no moral speechless speeches, no explanation of techniques. The film assumes if you are paying attention, you will understand that trust creates respect and tension. And blood is rare, and that's the point. Blood appears, it matters. It signals escalations, it doesn't decorate the frame. Blood isn't used for excitement, it used as warning. So that was the review of the movie. Peaceful Dream, and I hope you like it, you enjoyed it, and me myself enjoyed it, reviewing it. And thank you for being here. And let's meet on the next movie review and back to it. Goodbye, and let's meet on tomorrow. Goodbye.